Welcome back, guys. I saw some game footage back at E3 last year of a game called Ni no Kuni. Who the hell comes up with these names? Anyways, the game looked amazing, so I decided to pick it up. It's a PS3 exclusive, so you blokes who just have the 360 will have to pass this one up. Well, let's check in on graphics. Graphically, the game is gorgeous. My biggest issue with the game is it isn't in 1080p, and it shows graphically on the map screen. It just sort of vanished in the wind, and sometimes everything looks like blah. But if you're zoomed in, the game really shines. It's using cel shading, which is something I'm a big fan of, and it runs at 60 frames a second. None of this 30 frames crap a lot of developers have gotten married to. Ever hear of a divorce, guys? The story is done in old school drawings, which run at what looks to be 15 frames a second, but it's okay as long as you accept this as an art style. If you can, expect your eyes to bleed and your eyelashes to melt off, as it sort of looks like a flip book from the 1930s. Let's move on to gameplay. Here's the catch-22. Are you a fan of turn-based games? If you're not, then you most likely won't like this one. Though it's not actually 100% turn-based, it does play like one. Enemies are on the screen, so you will know a few seconds before you actually go into combat. You have these familiars, as the game calls it. I'm not sure who comes up with this shit, but yeah, they're called familiars. But for this review, let's call them pets. You can choose to attack the enemy yourself or put out your pet. And you'll pick up other pets over time as well. Each pet has specific abilities you'll learn to use while your main character holds the spells. You'll get the basics such as attack, defend, spell, special, etc. You can switch out your pets to yourself at any point in the battle with no consequences. The main thing here is that you'll share the same life bar and MP with all your characters. Just like old school RPGs, chests and quests can be picked up in towns, and you'll get rewards for doing all the little side quests. The game isn't linear at all, which is a huge selling point. Now, there's only so much you can do early on in the game, but it just expands and expands. Leveling up is standard, and you'll get stronger weapons from shops and drops, or chests, as you progress. It's a great closing game to this generation of gaming consoles. I'm quite impressed. It's like they took all the best parts of games from past and crumpled them all to an amazing, true form RPG. And you know what? Level 5 have been doing this for some time. I've always spoke highly of their games in the past reviews, like the Dark Cloud games and Professor Layton. Keep up the good work, guys. Now let's move on to story.
Come back, please.
Whoa, what's all this? Curse lifted, is it? Tiny! I'm free!
Game kind of feels like a kid's game, but that's okay. I think for all of us older gamers who've played all the original Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest games, or Final Fantasies, we kind of needed one like this to come along. So grab your old teddy bear and or blanket and just sit back and play this one. Basically, without giving away too many spoilers, you'll be this kid who has to save a different dimension's world. You'll get this wand that gives you the ability to switch back and forth between your dimension and the other. You'll find out that both worlds have this connection, and alter egos such as like in the Star Trek Mirror Mirror episodes with an evil Captain Kirk or a vengeful, power-seeking Jonathan Archer. Take your pick. Anyways, some evil witch girl wants you dead and everyone else needs you to save them. That's basically it. Well, how's the sound?
Your Majesty.
Need a hand?
It's you two. Look, one has retrieved one's wand.
Huh? So he wasn't kidnapped?
Oh, the crook struck one. Oh.
Sound is top notch, and voice acting is again a little on the childish side, like having a kid's book read to you. It's not a bad thing, and it's kind of refreshing. We've all been doing the same thing lately, shooting people in the face in Hitman, breaking ribs in Mortal Kombat, teabagging someone in Call of Duty, stabbing someone in the throat in Assassin's Creed. This isn't anything like that in regards to gameplay, story, or sound. It's a fantasy world, and a great one at that. Music and voiceovers will take you to this new vastful world and draw you right in. It's an amazing game overall, but is it fun? Yeah, it's an RPG at its finest, and a welcome addition to my collection of games. You'll spend hours leveling your characters or just exploring the world. The whole game is twisted and raveled together and will have you coming back to points which you've already went through. There's so much to do, and its beautiful cell shading keeps you drawn in. It's a game you can lay down the controller for a second to eat your spinach and celery your mother has ready, then come back and pick it up shortly after. Is it distinctful? Yeah, it is. The only game I can seriously compare it to is Dragon Quest VIII on the PS2. I've not seen many games with this kind of story given via cell shading or an RPG this good to come out since Lost Odyssey. It's a must-own if you're into RPGs, and that covers the basics, guys. This is DTR. Communicate later, fuckers. Arr.